focuses on a woman named Giovana. After a toxic and mysterious pink cloud appears, she finds herself stuck in a flat with a man she just met, changing her life in a way she never expected. This is written and directed by Giovana in her directorial debut, and it premiered at Sundance 2021 before getting a limited theatrical release in early 2022. Now, the thing that brought this to a lot of people's attention is the fact that it felt strikingly similar to the COVID-19 pandemic, with the way this cloud breaks out and the way people react to it feeling awfully similar to real life. Though the thing is, this just happened to be a case of mere coincidence, as this was written and shot in 2017 and 2019, respectively. Though it's kind of unfortunate that things timed out the way they did, mainly due to the fact that since the pandemic began, we've had a slew of horror movies, comedies, dramas, and all sorts of films that were purposely setting themselves at the height of the pandemic or in something very similar. And it's a subgenre that felt worn out very quickly. Now, if this was released pre-pandemic, it would have felt like a fresh and original idea. And while I went into this with an open mind, it's just impossible to completely separate this from the events of the last few years, especially as a lot of the situations, while all technically a coincidence, just feel way too on the nose for everything that's happened recently, discussing things like masks, people being separated from loved ones indefinitely, and so on. Despite this movie being filmed first, it wound up being released a bit too late, as it winds up ultimately saying nothing that we haven't seen or heard before, through mostly no fault of its own. Now, I will say, the film is visually spectacular, and despite such a gloomy premise, it is bursting with color due to the titular cloud, and I thought the contrast was fascinating, showing how the bleakest of times can still look great from a visual standpoint. I do think Giovana has a real knack behind the camera, especially as she nails the claustrophobic nature of this premise. Plus, I thought all the performances were solid all around, given that most of the actors are confined to only so many locations, with not even a handful of others to interact with per scene. The performances are what mainly drives the film, and I thought everyone did a commendable enough job. I'd say I was engrossed enough in what was going on as a result of all this, though while the film explored all its psychological elements nicely, showing the deteriorating state of each of these characters as they try to make the most out of a situation that's gone on considerably longer than the real-life pandemic, it still feels very been there, done that. If you're able to separate that out, then that's great, but I can see most people who watch this not having such an easy time. Plus, even if that wasn't the case, because of the inherent nature of this particular story, involving characters feeling some sort of emotional distance between cherished loved ones and those they used to enjoy spending so much time with, you begin to feel a little bit of that yourself. So the emotional heights only went so far here, because I felt a little detached from each of these characters from time to time. But The Pink Cloud isn't necessarily a bad film overall. On a technical level, it's absolutely fantastic, with some striking visuals, solid direction by Giovana, and a lot of solid performances. And that can be enough to hook you in. But the film is unfortunately a victim of bad timing, with way too many on-the-nose parallels to the real-life pandemic that are hard to separate even if this was done first. And because it comes as late as it does, it feels like so many other films we've already seen and doesn't add anything new. And considering the amount of pandemic movies we've gotten in the last couple of years, while you can certainly do much worse than this, I think I've had my fair share of them. The Pink Cloud gets a 6 out of 10. So let me know, did you see The Pink Cloud, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you find this story interesting, and do you have a favorite pandemic movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.